Yeah,
Or you think that number declined?
No. If you go on Weed Maps and Leafly, they will promote illegal dispensaries. So like say if it's 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning and there's a 24-hour delivery place, you can order from them. But it might take an hour or two. We're on Uber Eats.
Okay.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you can fucking order,
if you can get alcohol, why not?
Yeah.
you can get a lamp on Uber Eats.
Like-
you can
True.
get a table. Like you can.
Yeah, you can now Uber Eats.
Yeah. Have you seen their commercials? Like, yeah,
Not a Yeti, but
Not-
a spaghetti.
but spaghetti. Like not carrots. Like who the fuck is ordering carrots?
Sucks.
Carrots.
I order carrots from Uber Eats.
That's insane.
You can do grocery runs.
I know.
Yeah.
I had a friend of mine who told me that he ordered because he was craving peanut butter and bananas.
I remember you saying this.
I was like, what? I was like, what?
Yeah.
He goes, yeah. And I said, like, why didn't you go? He goes, oh, just, obviously he smoked something and then he was craving bananas and peanut butter.
Yep.
And he ordered on Uber Eats.
That's
I
hilarious.
was like,
I mean,
that's
like, safer option, but like also.
I was drinking the other night and I didn't even remember this. I was drinking the other night and I got up and I ordered a combo for myself and an extra chicken burger, got my husband a combo, managed to go downstairs, give him his combo, ate it all, and I did not have a memory of it until I woke up, and then I kicked the McDonald's bag that I had left, the empty garbage, to go downstairs. I'm like, where the fuck did I get McDonald's? I was like, oh my God, it's too easy now. Like I'm just doing it in my sleep. Like
That is so unhealthy.
I know, Cam, and I'm
Like,
working
that
it.
is
I
like-
relapsed on the food.
You're
It's
better
fine.
off like eating out of a fucking garbage pail.
20 nuggets to herself. No, 40
40.
nuggets.
That's
40.
insane. Like
40.
that,
Well done.
that's
40 is cheaper than 21.
oh,
It absolutely is.
God.
Well done.
Thank you. But
I mean, like, I can't say much.
you're vegan. I'm sorry.
Me?
Are-
Oh God, no.
Oh, I thought you were vegan
why did you think
No.
that?
because I thought you worked for a vegan
Something
company.
was,
Oh,
yeah.
no. So Arbonne is vegan, and I
Oh.
support people who are vegan, but like, mm-mm.
I just
Oh, so you like your meat?
I would be disowned from my German family if I didn't like.
You know what's very cool about
You're
this?
German?
Yeah, man.
You didn't even know that?
First
She's your
generation.
friend.
I know.
First generation. Mom was born
What's
there.
my background?
Italian.
No, but everybody says that, and I'll
right.
take it as a
We've had that
compliment.
conversation. I do now remember.
You said her
that.
background's what?
I thought it was Italian.
Polish.
You guys, none of you are my
I
friends.
just said
if
a
you
P
don't
word.
know. I'm just kidding. You're all my friends. Just,
You need friends,
I
Melissa.
need friends.
She's got one. His name's Brogan. It's going to
You
be
know-
her best friend forever.
The really cool thing about what you said about you not being a vegan, and I'm not trying to say anything here, but most people, if they were to hear our conversation earlier on, would have thought that you're a vegan.
Probably.
Do you understand what my point here is? That people have the habit of, if you have certain views, so automatically they think, okay,
Because I thought
this person's a fucking no, but I'm saying most people would have thought that either you're a lesbian or you're a vegan, right? You support PETA and shit like that.
And now
I'm saying-
everyone's going
I
to think
see
I'm
that
Italian or Polish.
Yeah.
No, but that's just the way people are, right? They're going to think that you hate Donald Trump, you love Justin Trudeau, blah blah blah, right?
Right.
So we have this habit of we're polar opposites, and people have to realize that just because someone has a certain opinion on one topic doesn't mean like it doesn't mean that just because you may support the whole transgender movement that it means that you're against animals being killed and being eaten because they have feelings, right? Because a lot of people think that goes hand in hand, because vegans believe that there's vegan and what's the other one? Vegetarian. Vegan's ultra,
There's
right?
vegetarian, pescatarian, and vegan.
Pescatarian, eat
is
fish.
just eat fish, yeah.
But a vegan is even worse than a fucking vegetarian. Like a vegan
eats
won't even
nothing
eat
that comes from an animal.
So no cheese.
No cheese, no dairy,
nothing.
nothing
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and they believe that because animals have feelings and
What
and
about
whatever.
like,
There's also
I
those
believe
who are
that. Maybe
vegan
that's what I need
because
to
of,
be then.
but aren't plants
but you still eat it like
a-
you love eating it.
Are we about
You eat chicken all the time. Like
But
you
don't
eat
they have, like,
40
plant-
nuggets,
They have like plant-based stuff now.
plant-based stuff.
but you don't
There's
eat
also
that.
a lot of people that are vegan or vegetarian because it's
Crazy.
more sustainable.
Okay.
No, it's
I was
like
gonna say crazy.
it's more sustainable, like through
Like you mean for the environment?
for the environment.
The
thank you.
amount of fucking gas that cows produce that are left alive.
It's less about the cows and more about the processing plants.
Do you guys
It's
know?
the emissions at the processing plants.
So I want you guys to kind of give me a number, and Ryan, I want to include you on this. How many
Yeah.
pounds of cow poo does a grown adult cow produce in a day?
400.
How do you know?
Go ahead. What do you think? How many pounds?
No, I think it's about 1,200.
Melissa?
I don't know what.
I thought my
Take a
answer was
guess.
high.
Like 1,500.
Ryan? This isn't Price is Right, by the way. But
No,
yeah,
I know.
Ryan,
Do we get $100?
800.
150 pounds
Wow.
a day.
150?
It's not a
A
lot.
day.
That's fucking
close.
huge. 150 pounds of fucking
Yeah.
like shit a day.
Well, I can honestly estimate my dogs.
I did not know that.
There must be something that we can do with
Well,
this
there's
shit.
already there's so there's a company in the
Like,
U.S.
besides like
I feel like
gardening and
does that-
stuff.
yeah, I was gonna say
Like-
there's fertilizer and stuff, but
Yeah.
I feel like there's got to be a company trying to make it into biodiesel.
Well, there's a company in the U.S. that actually makes pots for plants
Cool.
out of poo.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and they take the ammonia out, so there's no smell,
Okay.
right? And then he also uses the waste for fuel, the gases. This farmer, and now he's doing a deal with some big company to make these plants, and he uses the gases to fuel his farm and his house.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm learning something
Right?
new every
So
day.
there are some people who are like, you know what I mean? They're geniuses, right? They figure out these ways, right? So anyhow, I thought that it's
It's
cool.
how
It's
everyone
cool that
does.
you said that you do eat meat because, you know, again,
Oh yeah,
You
I'm
know.
sure that I have a lot of views that people are like, wait, what?
yeah, they think, oh, it kind of clashes with your other views, which is stupid, right? So I explained this before, Nikki. The world, there's a thing called the silo effect. Have you heard of that before?
No.
So, Melissa, I've said this several times. Like, she dozes off, obviously. So,
Oh my God.
the silo effect is, let's say I, hate Donald Trump, okay, and Melissa loves Donald Trump. So, all of my social media feed is going to be nothing but negativity about Donald Trump. There's going to be nothing positive about him, right? And all of her social media feed is going to be only positive stuff about him. Now, even if Melissa wanted to share something positive Trump did, I'm going to say it's bullshit, it's fake news. And if I was to share something with her about something negative he did, so it's a witch hunt, whatever, right? And so what's happened is there's no such thing as just having even dialogue about it. It's like, oh, you hate Donald Trump? Fuck you, you're my enemy. It must mean you hate Kid Rock. It must mean you hate this, you hate rock and roll. No, that's just my view on one individual or one scenario. But the world has become so polar opposite that we're completely divided now. And people are not, this is the whole purpose of our podcast, is to be able to let individuals speak their mind about their opinions just to start the dialogue. So if I hate Donald Trump and we have a discussion about him, Melissa might say something amazing that he's actually done. I'll be like, holy fuck, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So now you're educating people that it's not all bad and all good.
Yeah, there's
Right?
a dichotomy. Like there has to be a balance.
But today, the world that we live in, unfortunately,
They don't like
so if you look at media, you have CNN, which only pumps negative stuff about Trump, and you have Fox News that supports him 1,000%. So even if something that Trump did was wrong, Fox News will put a spin on it to keep it positive because they've already got their followers. They've got the chunk of the audience and they're going to be loyal to them. So it's not news anymore. It's opinions to brainwash you into believing whatever bullshit thing that your view is. They just keep reaffirming it over and over again.
becomes
And that's
an
the
echo chamber.
yeah. So I find that's the biggest problem. So even if you watch other podcasts, some of these podcasts have these certain views and that's it. So they only have like a left view or alt-right, and that's all they ever talk about. And those are the only type of guests that they bring on. And they're not even open to the suggestion of hearing the other side. And even if someone was to mention it, oh, you're fucking crazy, it's a conspiracy theory, it's all bullshit. Well, no, it's not. And I think it's really important for individuals to be able to open up their mind. They have to be willing to listen,
Yeah,
right? So
absolutely.
Ricky,
and like actively listen.
Ricky Gervais, you guys know what that is, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So he said a really cool thing. He said, just because you're offended doesn't mean you're right.
Yeah.
So you might say something amazing about Trump and it pisses me off. That doesn't mean I'm right. I might say something horrible about him and you might hate that. That doesn't mean you're right. I think that is very, very important for people to understand. You can have your opinion and your views. Good for you. You want to raise your fucking kids a certain way or not raise them a certain way. That's all on you. You want to have a certain kind of belief system, good for you. But that doesn't mean that another person's belief system is not right for them, right? I might not agree with it. I'm not going to say that, oh yeah, that person, the way that they lead their life, I think is great. No, I think it's shit. But that's my view. That's that, right? So that's the whole purpose of the podcast. That's why we have all these different topics. But then we talk about dark shit like this, the stuff with the funeral home. And that thing
I
by
like
the
that we went from a funeral home to this, and it's great.
that thing about the which do you think is darker, the one about the funeral home or the one about the prison?
The prison.
You think?
The disturbing part is the prisoners helped in the burial process, in some of the burial processes, and
You're right.
dig
You're
their
right.
graves. That's
Because
freaky.
with the other one, they're already dead.
This one, it's like psychological mind fucking. Like they're probably thinking, "Am I going in this grave next? Like, what's going on? Why?"
No,
are
but
we
it's
making all
also
these
it's
graves?"
also the police hiding these people who they killed. Whereas the other one, the funeral home, they actually are already dead.
Yeah, like
Yes.
it's the funeral home is shitty because it's
Yeah.
taking advantage of the loved
Financial
ones who are
gain.
grieving.
Yeah, yeah.
But the mass grave is terrifying because you don't know what other corruption can lead to.
And if it didn't,
furthering
and
it.
you know, it got caught by construction workers, and you have to think if it didn't get caught then,
it wasn't gonna get.
it's 215 bodies in the course of how many years? That's a lot of bodies for say 3 years. Okay,
That really reminds me of the elementary schools in Canada.
Yep.
yes,
Yeah, 'cause that's
Yeah.
It's
residential
not comparable because that's actually sad. That was really sad what they did. But in essence, it's the same concept where they just threw
Yeah.
it's almost like a mini genocide.
I think the elementary schools is a little bit worse in my opinion.
Yeah,
because
that's what I mean. 100%.
you've got children that were taken away from their families by the church. They were told that they're savages, to the point where the prime minister's office, they had written a statement back in the 1920s, and the secretary of the office had written a letter to the prime minister and said that we're slowly getting the savage out of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's like, who the fuck are you to
There are
decide
so
what's
many-
savage or not?
There are so many records with McDonald calling Indigenous people savages.
Yeah, yeah.
So
And it was in the newspapers. Like, it was just normal lingo to use that term. And they took these children away from their families. And then when these children died, they hid it from the families. And then they lied to them on even if they did tell them on how they died, what the cause of death was. A lot of them died of starvation because they didn't want to eat the shit that they were fucking giving to them. Or
No,
they're,
because
you
it's
know.
like you have to think even like scientifically, they're so used to like their bodies are so used to a certain type of nourishment that like when you change that so drastically, it probably also felt like shit to eat.
Yeah.
Like their bodies probably hated that for the longest time.
I think it's a lot of it's just psychological abuse. Like, I mean, they were
Also
telling
true.
them
Yeah.
that what they stand for, what their belief system was, who they are, their morals, their values, their customs is all shit.
There were cases too, and I learned this in the 6th grade. Strangely enough, my 6th grade teacher loved the Native like American Indian culture, so she would take us. We got
Indigenous.
to go, indigenous culture. Sorry, I'm a little. So, anyways, she would.
You're a little what?
I'm a little. I don't know the terms nowadays. Like they
That's
change
okay.
like every day, guys.
No, indigenous
It's
was
okay,
always
as
around.
long as you ask
Okay, so indigenous.
and accept.
Like I just learned that midget wasn't a word anymore. Like
No, that is a derogatory term.
I didn't know that. I'm sorry. I'm dumb blind like that sometimes, and
That's totally fair.
I will change my ways when I'm corrected.
They prefer little people now.
Yes, okay.
Now.
Now.
So were they okay with midget before?
I don't think they were ever
They
okay with-
accepted it.
But I do believe that like an acceptable
tolerate it.
term was like dwarfism or
Yes.
a dwarf. I believe that was an acceptable
Like
term.
somebody
Holy
heard me
fuck,
say
I would
midget
rather
on the
midget.
podcast, and they were like,
too.
"Cheyenne, you can't say that." And I
I'm
was
sorry.
like,
I would rather midget than a fucking dwarf. Like, dwarf, have you ever seen how they look in fantasy movies? Like, holy shit.
Like,
I don't
and I
know.
think that's
I don't
part of the
think
reason why they moved away from that terminology, right? I mean,
Right.
like at least in my opinion, that's part of the reason why I would want to.
So